Okay, so I'll start by creating the body of the guitar, and to achieve this I'll use a disc. Come down to create disc, then you create your disc. Okay, create some thickness to it, and we'll come to the numeric tab. So you have to make sure you have 12 sides, and make sure the x-axis and the z-axis are the same. So in my case I need to change that and have something like that. Okay, I push space on the keyboard and this is what I have. So I'll come down here, make sure I'm on polygon mode, select this face and go down and select that face, while hold down shift to select two faces. I'll push E on the keyboard and push H on the keyboard as well, or shift H on the keyboard. I get that. So what I'm going to do is I'll push T, move it up, push space, deselect this one and hold down T again, push it down like that. Okay, so I've achieved that. What I'm going to do is I'll push A on the keyboard to fit my object, and I will start drawing, holding down my right mouse button around like this to select all the parts that are outwards. I'll zoom out, hold down Control Alternate, and then drag with your left mouse button. I'll push H on the keyboard and I'll stretch it like this. Okay, I think that's good enough. Push T on the keyboard, drag this one side like this, and what we'll do is push space on the keyboard, select these bottom polygons, push H on the keyboard, drag them out like that, and space, question mark to deselect, select these other ones on top, push H, and just trying to achieve that body structure of our guitar. T to move, we'll move it closer like that. I think we're getting there. We can select all these down here, maybe pull them out just a bit more like that. Space, question mark to deselect, and what we'll do is our guitar is a bit too thick. I'll reduce, push H on the keyboard, reduce its thickness. Okay, then I'll come down here and change this to edge mode, select all these edges, and then say come here to select loop. I'll come to multiply, select rounder, then I will push the numeric panel down here so you can follow these settings. Radius 4, insert distance 20, and say cancel that, space on the keyboard, question mark to deselect. Same thing with the bottom part, select loop, and I'll select rounder, and for numeric on the keyboard the same settings still remains, space, deselect. And if at this point if I push tab on the keyboard, I would have that. Okay, so I want to change my shape just a bit. I feel I can remake it, so just select these, so we have that, and I think at this point we can save. Control S, say guitar, Okay, so after this, what we'll do is we'll change this to texture wired, and we'll zoom in and push tab on the keyboard so that we go back to the wire mode, and push space. Make sure you are on polygon. So select this face, push E on the keyboard. Okay, let's push A so we can see what we're doing. Push E on the keyboard, T to move, and drag it down. E again on the keyboard, H for stretch, and we'll stretch it out like so. Stretch it out like so. Then delete on the keyboard. And what we'll do is save, push tab on the keyboard. So we have this. Select these faces, select loop, A on the keyboard to fit everything, then push E on the keyboard, save, space, and we have that. So we can remove the wire texture. Okay, so while we're at it, let's add some decorations around the guitar hole. I'll come to another layer while seeing my first layer around. I'll zoom out, move around like this, and say create, get a disc and make a disc just around this one. Just around this one here. Like that, and like that. And then bring out the thickness. So move it up, more like this, and come to numeric just to make sure all it's round. So remove this, yeah, more like that. Push space on the keyboard, select this polygon, delete, select the bottom one, delete, and we'll come to multiply, save, S to save. Come to multiply, then we'll say come here under extend, say thicken, and then we can just thicken just a little bit like that. Space, deselect, like that, then push tab, and we get a ring like that. Okay, so I don't want this ring, what I want is this. Okay, let's select that, say select loop, and we'll push E, then space. So we have that. And what I'll do with this is I will copy and paste, and then Shift H on the keyboard, making sure here you're on selection. Come to the top view and increase the radius like that, and space, deselect. So now if you push A on the keyboard and select like that, we have that. So we have our little decorations like that. Okay, get a box, put a box like this, and so what is going to happen is there it's already subdivided. Mine is already subdivided. You come here, so you make sure you've got this. The width is like that, the depth, and we can have segments. So we have 1, 1, and 5 at the end. So I feel for me this is fine. I'll just add a thickness to it. I think that's good. I'm good with that, and cancel. So what I'll do is I'll get this, push the closing brackets on the keyboard, Control X. I want to work in a different layer so that I don't get affected by the guitar body. So Control V to paste, and I'll select half of this layer so that I can see my layer behind there. So what I'll do is I'll select, make sure you're in point mode, select these points, oh, not this, sorry, this, T to move and move it closer, more like that, and select this one as well, T to move it closer, like that, and space. So what I'll do is texture wired, select this, oops, make sure you're in polygon mode, select these faces and push E on the keyboard, T to move, I'll move it like that, space. I'll deselect these ones, E on the keyboard, T to move, and I'll move it, oops, I'll move it like that, and space, deselect. Okay, I'll just stretch it a bit, H to stretch, and I'll stretch it out, oops, deselect, make sure you're on selection mode, and stretch it out. I think that's good, like that, paste, oh, space and question mark to deselect, select these two, and I'll push E on the keyboard, T to move, make it a bit higher like that, and I'll zoom in, control alternate, then drag with your mouse button. I'll push H on the keyboard, make sure I'm on mouse, come here at the far corner and just drag this like that, and okay, drag it like that, and also come here, make sure now I'm selection, and drag like that, making it smaller, space, question mark deselect, control T on the keyboard, and make this like that. We'll bring it down like that, oops, like that, space, deselect, A on the keyboard. Okay, this thing is a bit too thick, so I'll reduce its thickness, control, okay, T to move it down, okay, space, and question mark to deselect. Okay, so I'll push tab on the keyboard. Okay, that's what I have. Okay, so what I'll do is I want the edges to be rounded and some to be sharp. I'll start by doing this. I'll come to multiply, get a knife, cut with my knife right here, space, and what I'll do is push A on the keyboard. I'll move closer, okay, like that. Make sure on point mode, select this point and that point, H for stretch, and drag out, space, okay, I like that. I'll select these faces, make sure you are on polygon mode, select these faces, select loop, and we'll push E on the keyboard, question mark to deselect, push tab, so we have something like this. Okay, I'll zoom in, select these faces like this, and even this one here, same this side, select those faces and push E on the keyboard, question mark to deselect. If I go to texture, yeah, and this is the bridge I was looking for, so let me just modify it a little more, just a little bit, pull these ones in, and I'll pull these as well in, space, question mark to deselect, and I will drag this part more like that, just a bit more like that, space, question mark deselect, T to move, and let's just center this, space, deselect. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so we have our bridge. I think it's a bit too big. Let me just reduce its size. Select it, closing bracket, Shift H, and reduce its size to match our guitar. Okay, and we'll move it like that, question mark, deselect. Okay, so it's now time to make the pack, and I'll go to a new layer while looking at my old 3 layers. So I'll hold down Shift to select all of the 3 layers. Yeah, and I'll go back to create, and I'll get a ball, and I'll create a ball like this, make it like this, numeric panel. So this is 100 millimeters, and I'll also make this 100 here, and I'll change this to 8 and this to 6, and okay, I'll change this to the Y so that it faces up like this, and I think we're good with this. Cancel this, space, push A, and let's zoom in closer. Select the bottom layer, push H for stretch, hold down Control and drag down like that, E on the keyboard, T to move, drag down, and over here, E again, H for stretch, hold down, push Shift A. Okay, so Shift H now to move like this, and T to move, drag it down a bit, and E again, drag it down, Shift H, drag inside, inward, oops, undo, Control Z, E on the keyboard, then drag, yeah, T to move it down a bit like that, and E again on the keyboard, and then drag down like that, and yeah, so Shift H, I'll just drag it outwards a bit like this, and I will Y for rotate, and I'll rotate it like this, T to move it down like this, paste, oops, E again, just drag it down one more time. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, so this is the part where the strings will be entering. So we select those, and E on the keyboard, and Shift H, just make it a bit smaller like that, E again, T to move, just drag it inside, drag it in, H for stretch, make them straight like that, T to move, let's drag it in, and E for extender, then H for stretch again, so we're going to stretch it out like that, and space, question mark to deselect, push S on the keyboard, and what we'll do is select these surfaces inside, and say select loop, and I'll push E on the keyboard, question mark to deselect, save, and what I'll do is I'll grab this, select the whole head, and okay, before I select the whole head, just select these, make sure you're in polygon mode, this and this, H for stretch, and just stretch it out like that, space, question mark to deselect, select the whole head now, and H for stretch, then stretch it down like that, T to move, and let's move it down. Okay, I'll select the top part, make sure you're in polygon mode, don't forget to save, and E for extender, T to move, I'll drag it, oops, Shift A, I'll drag it in just a bit like that. Okay, space, deselect. I'll select these polygons here, say select loop, and I'll push E on the keyboard. So Shift A to see our push tab. Okay, well, I'll select this top part and just push it in like that. Space and Shift A so that we see what we're working with. Okay, I'll select the neck part and push E as well. Okay, a question mark to deselect, space, and okay, so let's position this properly now. So T to move. Oh, Shift H first. Let me make it smaller. Okay, we're good. T to move. Let's move it down like that. Make sure the hole is facing front, so it's facing this way. So what I'll do is I can just come here on the top view while my mouse is here, push R. Okay, so it's rotating, and I think we're there. Push it 3 times. I think we're there. Okay, and just insert it like a T to move, and we're like this. Okay, so we're like this, and well, let's make it a bit smaller, and we go back to our bridge. Okay, we'll come back to our bridge and let's make it a bit wider. Select those polygons, stretch it a bit like that. Okay, space, deselect, T to move, remove everything so that we center it. And okay, let's try to fit our apex. Drag. Okay, let's see, we'll put one here. Shift H, make it smaller. T to move it like that. Okay, so I'll select the bottom part of this. Oops, select that, and okay, just the bottom part. And what I'll do is Shift H, make it bigger, and I'll drag it down. So now when I select the whole thing, oops, select the whole thing, T to move. If I move it like this, I can fit it. Then I'll drag these parts down. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's see what we have here. Oops, select it, T, and move it in like that. Okay, let's move it up. Okay, so this thing is just supposed to be here. Select the bottom part again, E for extender, and I'll drag it down, push T, and okay, so we have that. Okay, so now it's time to duplicate it. So I'll select this, closing bracket, and what I'll say is Ctrl C, Ctrl V, T to move. Okay, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, T to move. So select all of them, closing bracket. I'll push T on the keyboard, and I'll push A, So I want to position them on the middle. T to move, and I'll move them like that. Space, question mark to deselect, and let's see what we have. So we have this. Okay, save. Okay, so now to create the part, the area where the wires pass. So what I'll do is, seeing I've got a lot of layers, I'll cut everything and put it in one layer. Control X, and I'll come to another layer while I'm seeing this. I'll come close and create a box, more like this. Create some thickness, and I'll place it right here on top. Okay, so I'll create the shape of how I think it looks like, and okay, more like that. Space on the keyboard. I'll get this point or in point form and get another one, T to move, and I'll drag them down like that. Space, and I'll go to multiply, get a knife, and I'll cut through here. Space, get the knife again, and I'll cut through here. And let me just change this to texture wired, and what I'll do is I'll get this, T to move, Shift A, and I'll drag it in like that. Okay, space, deselect, and I'll get this, zoom out, I'll get this and this here, and okay, I'll select that one. I just want this one here. Oops, let me look at this from this side. Here, hold down Shift to select more polygons, and what I'll do is, okay, so I almost left out that one, and what I'll do is I will push T and drag it in like that. Space, deselect. Okay, so this is the blocking shape that I want, but now what I have to do is I have to round up the edges, that they're not too sharp. So one important thing you have to know is that in the real world, edges are not this sharp. So if you want to get the best results while making these things in 3D, you make sure you bevel your edges, make sure they are rounded. So I'll select this, I'll push E on the keyboard, question mark to deselect, and I also select the top part like that, and push E again. Space, I'll push tab, and I have this texture. So this is the shape I get if I'm looking at everything that I've created. So this is the body of our guitar.